Today we're making red sauce. Not marinara, not gravy, red sauce. This stuff is my lifeblood. It's tangy and rich, it's versatile and cheap, it is healthy and easy to make. This is simply my favorite food.
Feed yourself!
To get started,
What about the jars of sauce that you can buy?
never say the J word in my house. If you give one hoot about self-care, you will make your own tomato sauce because you deserve it. Of course you're not going to make a vat when you come home from work. This recipe was designed to be made in bulk on a Sunday afternoon every couple of months to keep in the freezer and make your life easier. A special note for all my young parents out there, ignore everything I'm saying and just do what you need to do to stay alive. To make your red sauce, you have 10 minutes of standing choppy time and then a half hour on the stove where your presence is not required. So first we're gonna smash up some garlic.
I would recommend you don't use the garlic.
I would recommend you get the hell out of my kitchen, you confusing symbol of the patriarchy. Next, you're gonna take your knife, the side of it, and smash down the bulbs of garlic.
But what if instead you didn't use
You know what? You are welcome to stay and watch, but shh. Then you'll take your garlic smasher to pulverize. Now we're gonna do our parsley. If you wanna do it quick and dirty, you're gonna take a bunch of parsley, run it under some water to get off any dirt and ladybugs, and then chop it up to about here-ish. If you want to be precise, you're going to take 16 sprigs of parsley, remove the leaves, and then wash them in a salad spinner. Either way, make sure you keep your stems for your garbage veggie stock. Now we'll prepare our tomatoes. You're going to need 4 different brands of 32-ounce cans of whole peeled tomatoes. Cans because they preserve the tomatoes at the peak of season. Whole peeled because you know they're not using scraps. 4 different brands because the variety actually creates consistency and a more well-rounded flavor. It's the same philosophy behind blended whiskeys or wine, I think. Anyway, we're going to blend it using our immersion blender, but you can use whatever kind you like. And if you like your sauce chunky, great, go for it. Leave your chunks, but me, I like it smooth, baby. You'll put a big pot on the stove and put your heat to medium high. You'll let it heat up for a minute. You'll actually begin to feel the heat if you hover your hand just 2 inches from the bottom.
Be careful.
Thanks. So you're gonna take your olive oil and add 3/4 of a cup. Remember, add up all of the money you spend on video games, fast food, alcohol, and drugs in a given month, divide it in half, and that's how much you should spend on 3 liters of olive oil. If you don't have any good vices, then think 20 to 30 bucks. Now we're going to add our parsley. You want to cook it for about a minute or 2 until it gets crispy and the oil begins to turn a little bit green. The best sound in the world. My family legend has it that this recipe originated from Mama Leone's, which was a restaurant in New York City. And my grandparents would drive down from Boston to go there every few months, like in the 1960s, right? So when the restaurant went under, they published the recipe in the Boston Globe, and my grandfather, who I never met, would then make it for the family. Now, my mother continued that tradition, making it for my family growing up. But my mother was also a very busy high school teacher and didn't have a lot of time or energy to cook dinner when she got home. So she would call me and tell me to put up a big pot of water and take sauce out of the freezer. And thus began my latchkey kitchen. Now we're gonna add our garlic.
Perhaps you want a sweeter flavor.
No. Vampire, you don't have a say in this. It's my sauce, my choice. All right? So we're gonna dump it in and give it a stir. Now, I prefer a fresh garlic flavor as opposed to roasted or burnt. So we're gonna add the tomatoes the second we can smell the garlic. Now, we'll crack in some black pepper. If you have migraines, you can just leave it out. And then we'll add our oregano. We'll give it a stir. And now you'll wanna bring this to a boil, cover it, set it to low, and then cook it for 30 minutes. Now we're going to add our last two ingredients. We have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste here. Any leftover in the can, you just scrape out onto some plastic wrap, roll it up, stick it in your freezer. Lastly, we're going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of liquid aminos for saltiness. The original recipe calls for anchovies, but I use aminos, and you can use salt as well. We're gonna give it a stir, let it cook for 10 more minutes, and then it's done. If I was on death row, not only would this be my last meal, but I would demand they drown me in it. Once your sauce has cooled down on the counter, an hour or 2 is okay. Don't leave it out all day. You're gonna ladle it into plastic containers, any kind of containers you have. You're just gonna keep them in the freezer. You can do a variety of size. Make sure you do a couple small ones for your pizza sauce. Oh, and remember to label them, because a couple months from now, you don't wanna reach into the freezer, pull out something and accidentally make spaghetti and lentil soup. Although maybe not a bad combo.
I can feel the garlic shredding my insides, but it's worth it.
This sauce may not be for everyone, but it's mine. So good luck and go feed yourself.